Hello everyone, in today's video I will show you how to make this calendar that you can see in here in Photoshop. Though professionally speaking, InDesign and Illustrator are the go-to platform for that, as I already made 2 videos on how to make a calendar using InDesign and Illustrator that you will find down in the description below. But since a lot of people prefer working on Photoshop, we'll see how to create a professional calendar using Adobe Photoshop. Alright, fantastic, so let's get to it. Alright, so open your Adobe Photoshop and I will go to File, New, or you can press Ctrl+N on your keyboard. Now I will go to Print, and I want to create a paper. And by the way, if you're running an older version than CC 2017 or 2015.5, you won't be able to have the same new document dialog that I have in here. So just go for your international papers and choose the A3 size. So I will, in here I'm gonna choose view all presets in here, and I will choose A3 in here, and I'm gonna make the orientation landscape, and in the resolution I will keep it 300 of course, and I will change the color mode to CMYK because of course we want to print it, so we need to have it in a CMYK. And you're free if you want to change the bit to 16. You will have better results, but it will cause my machine to run more and I'm recording, so I won't do that. Alright, so I'm gonna press create, and as you can see in here I have my file. Alright, now I'm gonna go and open the image that I will be using, so I will check. So I will open this one in here in a new window, and then I'm gonna press Ctrl A so I can select the whole canvas, and then I will press Ctrl C so I can copy, and I will close this for now, and I will press Ctrl V so I can paste my selection just like that. And I don't have to worry of the replacements of my image for now, because I will replace it later after I'm done creating the calendar. Alright, now I will go to this background in here, and I'm gonna change it to black. So I'm gonna press Ctrl backspace because I have my background color is black. So if I press Ctrl backspace, it will fill it with the background color, and if I press Alt backspace, it will fill it with the foreground color. Alright, now I will go to the image in here, and I'm gonna make the opacity, let's see, 80%. Let's go for 80, and I will go and choose a level adjustment, and I'm gonna clip it to this image in here, and I will make the mid-tones go into the right a little bit, just like that. Alright, that's a little bit more, maybe around here. Okay, it looks good. Alright, now we're gonna start creating the safe area so we can work on. So I'm just gonna take one guide and put it, that's about 3.5% in here, and another one the same, just like that. If you don't have the percentage the same I do, you can easily change that by just one click to your rulers in here and choose percentage. And also, if you can't see your rulers, just press Ctrl+R, or go to view, and in here make sure rulers is checked. And also, since we are here, make sure snap is checked, and snap to guides, layer, documents, bounds is checked. Alright, so I'm just gonna make this one just like that. Alright, now we're gonna start creating the box to use for our calendar. Now the reason why we use InDesign and Illustrator just for these cases like this, when you have a box filled with text, it's easier to use InDesign since we can do that easily with text. But in Photoshop, if you choose to create it in here, you need to work more harder. But yeah, it's an option that you have, so we can do that. Alright, so I will go and I want to create the box in a vector shape, and I want to do it in one layer. So this might be a little bit complicated, but if you follow, you will get it just fine. So I will go and choose rectangle tool in here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna one click and I will put 250 pixels in the width and 250 pixels in the height. Alright, now as you can see, I have a perfect square in here. So what I want is I want to cut this square in the middle, so I have lines of this square, and I don't want to create it with the stroke, so I want it to be a fill square. So I will go and I will press Alt, and as you can see, when I press Alt, a minus sign will show. That's tell me that I can subtract from this square in here. But make sure the rectangle is selected and also your rectangle vector is selected. That's really important. Just make sure that both of them are selected. So I'm gonna press Alt again and I will one click, and this time I'm gonna put 230 pixel in the width and 230 pixel in the height, and I'm gonna press enter. And as you can see, because we pressed Alt, this box is cutting from the other box, and that's what we want. Now we would go and select the path selection tool. Make sure you select this tool in here, not the other one. So I will take it and I'm gonna drag it into the middle in here. And also we can press Ctrl T. As long as we selecting this box, we can transform it alone inside the same vector layer. As you can see in here, this is really a little bit complicated, but you know, it's easier to understand once you create it yourself. So as you can see, we put it in the middle in here. Now I want to create another box, but I want it to be cutting from this in the half, so we can put the days of the week in here. That would be a half box. So I'm gonna go again and I will choose the rectangle tool, and again make sure you're selecting the same layer, and I will press Alt, and as you can see with the minus sign in there, I'm gonna cut it from this box just like that, and as you can see, it will disappear. And now we'll go back to the path selection tool, and I'm gonna select the whole thing, and I will go to this pathfinder in here, and I'm gonna choose merge shape component, and I will press yes. So what this does is committing the changes that we did for this vector layer in here, and that's what we want. So now we can repeat this same shape for the row in here. So what I'm gonna use is an effect that's called the step and the repeat effect. I made a video about this, you can check it in the description below if you want. Alright, so I'm gonna press Ctrl Alt T, and before we do that, make sure you're selecting your path selection tool, and you're selecting the vector layer. This is really important. So I'm gonna press Ctrl Alt T, and what this does is we're telling Photoshop that we want to make a copy of this shape in here, but we told Photoshop to record our step after we make this copy. Now if I put this copy that we just created, that we can't see for now, and let's say I want to put it up, just like that, we can do that. Now if I press enter, I can make the same step I did and repeat it again, but we need to press a certain keyboard shortcut. So we can do that by pressing Ctrl Shift Alt and one click to the letter T, just like that. And as you can see, it's Photoshop repeating the same step I just did for the first one in here. And as long I'm pressing the T while I'm holding Ctrl Shift Alt and one click to the letter T, it will make the same step again. So, and of course that's not what we want to create in here, but as you notice, we sit in the same vector layer in here. So I'm just gonna press Ctrl Z so I can undo that, just like that, and I'm gonna press cancel. Alright, so I will again, I'm gonna press Ctrl Alt T, and this time I'm gonna take it and put it into the right, because we want to create a row in here, just so we can use it for the days of the week. And I will press enter. Now again, I'm gonna press Ctrl Shift Alt and one click to the letter T, and as you can see, this will make the same step again and again, and for 7 times, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and now we have 7 half boxes that we can use. Alright, now we want to create the box for the number of the days in here. So I'm gonna use the same rectangle to do that. So because I don't want to have as many layers in Photoshop in here, because we're gonna have a lot of text layers and I don't want to make more layers. Alright, so I will one click to it, and I'm gonna select the whole thing again, and I will go again and I'm gonna merge all the shapes in here. Now we have one shape. Alright, now I'm gonna make sure I'm selecting the same rectangle again, and I will go to the rectangle tool and I'm gonna create another rectangle, but this time I'm gonna press shift so I can add it to this rectangle in here shape that we created. So when I press shift, as you can see, a plus sign this time will show up. So I'm gonna press shift and then I'm gonna create a rectangle just like that. Once I want it to be to be in the same line as this one in here. So I'm gonna, again, I will go to the path selection tool and I will put it just right here. And I'm gonna press Ctrl T. This time it's gonna press just Ctrl T, so I can resize it just like that. Alright, now I'm gonna press enter. And this time I'm gonna go again, and my path selection tool is selected. I'm gonna select it again, and I'm just gonna press Alt, and as you can see, a plus sign this time will show up because I'm just pressing Alt using the path selection tool. So I'm gonna make a copy of this one and put it into the right to follow the other box, just like that. So I want it to be aligned with the same line in here. So that's what I'm trying to do. And this one in here, I want it to be aligned with the same line in here. So I'm gonna press Ctrl T and I will try to align it just like that. Alright, I think it looks good, and I will press enter. I'm gonna do the same step and repeat for this box now. So I will go, and again I'm gonna make sure that I'm in the path selection tool, and I will one click to it, and I will press Ctrl Alt T, and again I'm gonna take it and grab it just right here. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm having it in the exact spot I want. So alright, and I'm gonna press enter, and again by pressing Ctrl Shift Alt and one click to the letter T, it will create a copy for me just like this. But for this last one in here, I want it to be just in the last line in here, so I'm gonna press enter, and then I'm gonna select it alone, and I will press Ctrl T, and I'm gonna make it to snap with this first row that we created, and I will press enter. Alright, as you can see, we're starting to get in the shape now. As you can see, we have in here some space going on, and we're gonna try to make the same for the other rows that we'll create in the bottom in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that will select these boxes in here. So I will go and make sure that I'm in the path selection tool again, and I'm gonna select this whole boxes just like that, and I will press Ctrl Alt T again so I can make a copy and repeat it. So I will take it and put it in the bottom just like that. Yes, a little bit, and I will press enter, and now we can repeat the same step we just did. So I'm gonna press Ctrl Shift Alt and one click to the letter T again, and as you can see, it will create the same step. So I want it to be 6 rows in here, so I'm gonna put 4, 5 and 6, and now we have our box that we can use for our calendar. Alright, looks good. I'm gonna select the whole box, and I will go and choose. Let me just make sure that the whole box is selected, and I will choose merge shape components, and now we have it in one layer in here, as you can see, and that's what we want. Now it's time for us to make the text in here. So I'm gonna try to create 1 month in here so I can repeat it, and I'm gonna show you how to create this 1 month so I don't have to create the whole month, so I can stop and make a copy of them the same way I did for the step and repeat. But I'm gonna show you one example. So let's make the first month in here. So I'm gonna go and choose type. Well, let's first rename this to calendar box, and then I will go to type, and I'm gonna start with the days of the month. We just reduce the opacity of this to 30%. There you go. Alright, and I will go and one click, and the font I'm using, it's called Myriad Pro. It's known for every machine, and it's regular 16 point. I might make it a little bit bigger than that, but we'll see. And in here, make sure it's crisp, and also in the characters in here, I like to use the optical. Alright, so I'm just gonna start with Monday, so I will put MO. Let's put this not in caps, and I will make it a little bit bigger. Just put this around 30 points, and of course this will be smaller once we make our box smaller. Of course the text will be smaller too, so we don't have to worry about that. Just make it a little bit more bigger. That's around here. Alright, now I'm gonna make a copy of this, so I will press Alt and one click and make a copy just like that, and I'm gonna rename it to Tuesday, of course, and again I will move it to make it center a little bit, just like this. If you want it to be perfectly centered with the box, you can always go and choose the rectangle marquee tool in here and make a box just like that. And make sure Monday in here is selected, and go and make sure your move tool is selected, and just press this center in here and it will center it. And you can do the same for Tuesday too, of course. If I put it and just like that, I can make sure Tuesday is selected, and again I will go to the move tool and I'm gonna center it just like that and press Ctrl D. Alright, so I'm just gonna keep going with the days of the week, and I will be back in a second. Alright, and there we go, we have the days in here. Now let's create the month. I forgot about the month because we want to create it in a rectangle tool that's it's going in a gradient kind of shape. Alright, so I will go and choose a rectangle tool again, and I will try to make a rectangle just like that. So I'm gonna try to follow the box. Alright, and what I'm gonna do is I will make the fill 0%, and I will double click to this rectangle, and I will go to gradient overlay. And as you can see, you will first time you will open this, you won't find it the same as I have it in here. You will probably find it in this black to white in here. So let's put it like that. And what I will do is I'm gonna make the opacity of the white 0%. So I will go and one click to this one in here, and I'm gonna make the opacity 0%. And I'm gonna change the black to a dark gray, maybe just like that. Alright, and I will press OK. Now I'm gonna press OK to this gradient editor, and I'm gonna uncheck reverse because I want it to start from here, and I will go back to gradient editor in here because I don't want it to be to all the way in here. So I will go and select this one in here, and I will try to make it smaller just like that in the middle, but not that much. And again I will select this one, and as you can see, this will create this kind of fade color to it. Alright, and I will press OK and OK, and there we go, we have our, let's call it month box. Okay, it looks good. Now I'm gonna create a text to this rectangle in here. So I'm gonna select the type tool and make sure you're not inside this rectangle. So I'm just gonna one click outside the rectangle, and I'm gonna start with January. So I will make it all caps just like that. And also I'm gonna make it from the right just like this, and I will put it that's right there, and let's change it to, let's see, bold, and probably make it a little bit bigger. That's right there. Maybe too much. Let's make it semi-bold. Alright. Alright. Now I'm just gonna clean a little bit in here. So I will put this both in a group. So we call this month. And this in a group, and I will call this days. And now we're gonna start creating the number of the days. So I want to start from Monday, and I want to make the whole box full with numbers. So I'm gonna make the last month and the next month of this box also appear in here, but in a gray color. So that means Monday it will be 26. So I would go and select the type tool, and I'm gonna change it to center, and I'm gonna make it regular. I'm gonna make the size around 25 points, and this time I'm gonna create a box from the type, just like that. Alright, just like this, and I'm gonna type 26, make it a little bit bigger. I want it to be down a little bit, just around here. Alright, make it in the center, just like that. And I'm gonna make a copy of it, so I will press Alt and one click, and I will double click to this, and I'm gonna press 27, and again a copy, and 28, let me move this so we can see clearly. Let me move it around here, just like that. Alright, much better. And in here 30, and again in here 31, and in here I will make it 1, and it's a new year. But I'm gonna stop in here, and I will go back to 31, and I will select from 26 to 31, and I want them to be gray. So I will make the opacity around 30%, and I will go to type, and I am still selecting these numbers in here, and I will select the type, and I will go to these colors in here, and I will choose black color, and I will press OK. And as you can see, now we have this from the last month gray, and this is from the new month is in white, and that's what I want. So I'm gonna make a copy of 1, and I will put it just right here. I will take it just right there. Alright, and I will double click and type 2, and again we'll make a copy, and I will keep going like that. Alright, now as you can see, we started in the next month. That means this is February, so we wanted to gray out these numbers as we did for the first row in here. So I'm gonna select them again from 5 to 1, and I will make the opacity 30%, and I will go and select the type tool, and I'm gonna change this white to black, and I will press OK. And as you can see, now we have our first month finally. Okay, so I will go, and I'm gonna select this whole thing, and I'm gonna press Ctrl G, and I will call this days number. And now I'm gonna select the calendar box with the days and the days number and the month, and I will press Ctrl G, and I will call this January. And this way we have our first month in here, which we're gonna make it smaller now. So I will press Ctrl T, and I will go, and in here I'm gonna make this the corner selected, and I will go and put it in the corner of the guide that we just created, and I will make this link active, and I'm gonna make it smaller, just around here, because we want to make 6 of these in this bottom in here. So I'm gonna make them around 45 or 44, and I'm gonna press checked, and there we go, we have our month in here. Now I'm gonna make a copy of it, so I'm gonna press Alt and take it and drag it just right here. Alright, and another one. But we need to make them more smaller. So I'm gonna select the whole thing again, and again I'm gonna press Ctrl T, and again I will make this in the corner, and I'm gonna make this active again, and I will make them smaller. Let me zoom in. And I will make them smaller just like this, and I'm gonna press enter. Now what I'm gonna do is I will make the same thing. I will copy and I will put 4 in the top and 2 in the top in here, and I will go and modify the details of each month in here. So I'm gonna escape this part in here because of the duration of the video. Alright, something like this. As you can see, we have it in here all organized, which take a long time to do, but we did it. Okay, now we're gonna add the year, and a little bit of a slogan if you want, or you can add your logo or your company logo if you want. So I'm just gonna add the year number in here. So we'll go again and select the type tool, and I will one click, and I will make it bigger this time. Yes. Alright, let's put 2017, and I will make it more bigger. That's around here. Yeah, and I will press enter, and I will select it, and I will change the color to white. I will press OK, and I will make it bold, I think. Yeah, bold, it's good. And I will try to align it with the guides. Just like that. And I will create another text, and this time I'm gonna type Happy New Year, and I will make it smaller. And I will put it under this one in here. Alright. And I added a quote in here, which is optional if you want to add it or no. But I think it's cool to have a quote that you can see every time you see your calendar hanging on the wall. Alright, so I will go and select the type tool again, and I'm gonna make a type box just like this. And I'm just gonna make this space available for a quote if you want to put it in here, and I will make it to start from the left. You'll find this pasty, by the way, down in the description below, so you can download it and use it. Alright, so I will type the quote in here. Before I'm gonna start typing, I'm gonna change it to italic, and I will make the size around, let's see, 30, and I'm gonna start typing the quote. Alright, now if you have it like this, you can just select everything and press Alt and your down arrow key, and make the space in between them a little bit more. like this. Alright, let me add the name. Let's see, let's put it to start from the right. And I will change it to change the size to 20 point, and maybe semi-bold, and there you go. We have our quote in here, and let's put it down a little bit, so right here. Alright, let's now adjust the background. So I'm gonna select the picture and press Ctrl T, and I will make it a little bit bigger, just like that, and I will put it around here, and I will press enter, and there you go. We have our calendar in here. And now if you want to make it ready for print, just go and choose layer, and just choose merge visible, and what this does, it will merge it in one layer, so you don't have to worry about the font with your printer or everything else. And go and choose file, save as, and in here save it as a TIFF, and of course name it and press save, and there you go. Alright, so I hope that you enjoy and you like this tutorial and it was a little bit helpful for you. Don't forget to subscribe and comment, and wait for more tutorials to come, and have a nice day. Thank you for watching.